are going to discuss the thread issues and thread cancellation. The part of the model 2 comes under presenting the session 2 of operating system. In the previous session we have discussed about the thread generation, thread creation and terminations. So after discussing that, we have seen that kernel thread and user thread. In order to establish the relation between them, so there are the models are required. So we have discussed the many to one, one to one and many to many models. So we have seen that many to one model was best suitable for multiprocessor system. The people are think that, but it is not so, because the multiple user thread should interact with a single kernel thread. So if any one thread goes down or blocked by IO or some resource essential requirement, so in that case what will happen, remaining threads also block, so they cannot interact with the single kernel thread. So that may not be possible to have a multiprocessor concept. So that can be achieved with help of the many to many thread concept. So many user threads and many kernel threads. So in that case, so that can be easily accommodate the multiprocessing system. So anyhow, so in order to cater that all kind of these models, there are certain issues we need to be addressed. What are those issues? So when the fork system call has executed, it creates the new process, it creates the new thread, right? So it means what, that essential memory, essential that either process control block or thread control block will be created, activation of that records will be created in the memory. So entire luggage will be equipped with the process creation, right? So correspondingly, when you execute the execute system call, what will happen? It will be execute that current process will be stopped and the next process will be executed. So that is a runnable process. Runnable process, it executed. Due to this, what will happen? The executable file will be removed. In that place, the new executable file will be placed. Otherwise, they are telling the new image will be placed over the older one. So that is the execution signal system call when you executed along with the fork, right? So this is a fork and execute system calls are quite essential. So this will be creates some of the other issues here. So you can see, so that is also need to be discussed, that is signal handling, right? What is signal handling? Signal handling, some of the signals are originated, especially this will be quite happen in a Unix system programming. In the Unix system, signals are used there, right? So those signals will be create some disturbance, so that will be also kind of issues we need to be addressed. So that we'll discuss in detail in the subsequent slide. And also thread cancellation. So thread cancellation we will go to discuss. We have seen in a thread life cycle diagram, there threads are blocked, threads are terminated, threads are aborted. So that may be a different scenario. So here thread cancellation is also one of the important concept we need to be understand when we are doing programming, right? So thread will be cancelled intentionally, right? So that is also problem. So thread will be terminated or cancelled due to some stop button pushing by the user. So due to that, thread will be cancelled. So we can achieve, there are two kind of threads, that is asynchronous thread and default threads, right? So there are two type of threads called asynchronous threads and deferred thread. So let me see one by one, that is. So deferred thread will be follow cancellation point and cleanup handler. So those will be help to attain the deferred thread cancellation, right? So thread local storage, right? Thread local storage. So we have that some static, some local information of related to thread scheduler activation, right? Thread scheduler activations. So these are the topics going to be discussed majorly in this video lecture. Okay, so that also that upcall and handler will be used for the scheduler activation. Okay, let me see what are the thread issues. So thread issues are system calls, right? System calls, thread cancellation, signal handling, thread full, and specific thread data. So these are the major concepts are quite related to in the issue of threading when we are implementing threads in a programming. So let me see semantics of the fork and execute. What it does, fork will create a new process or new thread. It will create a new process, right? When execute command is executed, so it will be execute a file which is in active process. Which file is in active process, so that will be executed and replace the previous executable file with a new executable file. So replace the previous executable file or the new image with the older image, right? Older image means that is a previously executing process template, active record. So new one is a recently when executed start system call executed, that will stop all the previous process and replace that place with a new process, right? So that is a concept of execute. So execute CLP command, the system call we discussed in detail in the previous session, right? So that is a similar kind of the system call exe, ec also. So signal handling. So signals basically is heard in the Unix programming, right? So here system synchronous and asynchronous mechanism, we have know that in a network or in some other terminology how the synchronous mechanism will be achieved. Sender keeps sending a data to the receiver keep receiving, right? So the sender will not worry about whether receiver received or not. So that is a continuous sending of data to the destination. So that is a direction of flow will be shown in this diagram. Similarly, the other asynchronous signal handling, sender will send the data to receiver with the gaps, right? So here no gaps are there. So here gaps are there. So gap here, and gap here. So it means that receiver will breathe some time and receive the data. He will receive the data in a correct way. He gets some time to equip that data in their buffer direction of flow, so that template of the data transmit from sender to receiver have a common format, that is a stop bit and start bit, right? At the front we have start bit and between the data and at the top bit. So this kind of frames or packets will be transmitted from sender to receiver. So that is a asynchronous mechanism, asynchronous communication. Okay, having understood this concept, so thread cancellation of target thread also going to be discussed that. So what is a target thread? So that is a thread which is perform incomplete and planning to cancel that. So which have done incomplete operation, not finished their work. So such threads we are going to be cancelled. We'll call it as a target thread, right? Asynchronous or defer thread. So thread cancellation will mainly comes under two category. One called asynchronous communication and defer thread. Asynchronous thread and defer thread. So I hope know what is the asynchronous. Asynchronous will be the transmission will be happen between the sender and receiver with a gap. Similarly, defer thread is a thread, it automatically at a given instant or in the time frequency, fixed time frequency, the system will check that thread will complete the task or not. Every time it will check. If it is not completed, then it will be ask them to continue. So like that, in the sequence it will go on checking that thread, that cancellation will be deferred. Cancellation will be postponed till that completes the job. So that is a kind of thread, that is either asynchronous thread or defer thread going to be target thread will be there. So those will be comes under the thread cancellation category, right? Thread local storage, right? Thread have its local information, so that information going to be stored here, right? So that information going to be stored in the local buffer, so that also going to be discussed, that is. And scheduler activation, right? Scheduler activation also going to be discussed that. So those are comes under the what is called threading issues, right? Semantics of the fork and execute we have seen in the previous. So let me say, if one thread in a program calls, that is a program, so does a new process duplicate all the threads or new process single threads, right? So if one thread in a program that system call fork, so there is a new process will be created. So what it does, new process, it duplicate all the threads or the new process single threads, right? So here basically Unix have two versions of fork, right? Unix have two versions of fork. So fork system call have two version. So one version that is duplicate all the threads. Second will be duplicates only a thread which is invoked the fork. So it duplicates the thread, first system call type, second system call type, that along with the duplication it duplicates only the thread which is invoked the fork. So duplicating all thread is unnecessary here now. Duplicating all threads is unnecessary. If you execute, call immediately after fork, right? So duplicating all threads is unnecessary, and if you execute the system call, exe system call, then called immediately after the fork, that is it will be duplicate that. Execute usually works as a normal, replace the running process including all threads, replace the running process with the new process information. Here duplicating only the calling thread is appropriate. Duplicating only calling thread is essential, so not other is required, that is, right? So if however separate process does not call execute after the fork, separate process will not call that, right? It is along with the fork only it will call, so that's why that duplicating will be happening, that is. So signal source, so signal handle we say, no? So signal or how the signals are occurred, what are the source in a computing system, right? So let consider this is a process, and here we have there is a window manager, that is a SIGWing, right? Window manager system call will be there. So when you are doing some and open that window operating system, so by clicking that icons, so that is a window manager will send a signal to the processor. So there is a cell command prompt we have seen, pwd, ls, chmod, so on, that in the command prompt. So that cell command you are typing on the command mode, so that will be become a process, so that will be runnable code, right? So that become a process and it will be receive the signal. And terminal drivers also there, keyboard and monitor and terminal IO device will be there, and also memory management signal will be there, right? So we also kernel will send signal, so there is alarm, and also other process will also send. So these are the possibilities of different signals will arrive to process. So handling, how to can handle that, signals are used mainly in the Unix to notify a process that particular event has occurred. Any signals reported to the process, it understood that some event happened, so that event we need to be run, that event has to be executed, and in the meantime we need to be stop the normal execution. Stop means tentatively stop and look after the what kind of signal is there, and corresponding interrupt service routine has to be executed, right? So that is all signal handler is used to process a signal, right? Signal handlers are there in most of the programming language. So those signal handlers we seen in the previous window thread and those days. So those signals are there. Signals create and run and so on. That is, signals is generated by particular event. So each event have a specific operation. Signals is delivered to process. Is delivered to process. That is, then signal is handled by one up to two signal handlers. So most of the signals will be handled by two handlers. One called default handler. Default handler will be there. So that for example division by zero or power failure kind of things. So user define handlers are there, right? The user need define the signals, right? So that two types of signal handlers are there in most of that, especially in Unix system programming. Every signal has a default handler that kernel runs when the handling signal. Kernel will be look after that for default this one. So default signal arise and reported, and that need to be handled by the kernel space. That is a run with that. So user defined signal handler can override the default one. It have a high priority. So for single threaded signal delivered to process, if the single threaded are there, signal to go to the that process. So if multiple threads are there, then it has to be complex scenario. So let we see that. So how signal will be handled? So that is a process main thread will be there. So that some interrupts occur, and that interrupts will be what type of interrupts that is encrypted. We need to be understand by analyzing that address. Then we will be going to that signal handler. So maybe in the case of default signal handler, it go to the directly kernel. Kernel will be look after. So that deliver a signal. So that generates that key and modify the state and re-encrypt that what type of signal is that, interrupt is that. So that return from a signal. After serving that, it return from restart with a new state, and it process which is suspended due to that occurrence of this signal. It went to that, assume that it is a default, then it wrote the kernel will be look after that, and it will be solve that is and restart. It's coming back to allow the process to resume the remaining operation. So after discussing this signal handling and type of the thread cancellation, that is asynchronous and what we call it as deferred threads, and also signal handling in Unix, so that we discuss. That is a part of the issues of the what is thread multi-thread employing in a programming. So now we can see that thread cancellation, right? So thread cancellation, terminating a thread before it has finished, right? It stopping a thread before it completes its assigned job, so called a cancellation. Before we are not allowing to complete its job, so we will be stop them, and it will be abort kind of things. It is a before completion it will be stopped. It see the scenario how, in what sense when it will happen kind of termination of the threads. So consider that is a system that querying writing a query to get some data from the database server, right? So many threads concurrently query a database. So n number of threads, n number of clients will be contact to the server database. So those are the threads, many threads contact to the database. So what will happen? One thread brings the result very fast. One thread brings the results very fast, and the rest all cancelled, automatically cancelled. That is a termination, because one success, one the thread got answer result from the database. So why other need to be bring? So in that sense, so other all threads will be cancelled. So that is we can say termination, right? So stopping those. So a second scenario, user press stop button. So when client server or browser pages, server and browser will there, and by mistakenly or purposely user press the stop button, so stop pages from loading anymore. So the scenario consider web browser. So if you press the stop button, then it stopped, terminate the loading of pages to user on the screen, right, anymore. So that is second scenario. Also the web pages loaded by many threads, multiple pages will be loaded by multiple threads, each page loaded by single thread. So for example, consider 3 pages loaded by 3 threads, each loaded by separate thread, single thread. User press stop button, what will happen? All thread will cancel, right? So we have seen the scenario in the what we call many to one thread, user and kernel thread relation. There any one thread which blocked by IO or some other operations, so the remaining thread also get cancelled, because the kernel have only one thread, no? So many threads are going to be interact with one kernel thread. In that case it is a suitable scenario here. So web pages loaded by many thread, each page loaded by single thread, user need to be accidentally stopped, press the button, then all thread will be cancelled, right? So all thread will be, that is a scenario. So thread to be cancelled is a target thread. So any thread going to be cancelled, right? So consider the first scenario. So if one thread got answer, the remaining thread will be target threads going to be cancelled. So here user process stop pages from loading anymore. So remaining threads have been trying to bring pages from the memory to the user. So that is a become target thread, because going to be cancelled due to that. In this respective scenario, the user press the stop button. In the third scenario, so that target thread will be whichever that the stop press the button, that the respective thread become target thread. By cancel target thread, here two scenario: thread to be cancelled, the cancelable thread called target thread, right? So cancelable thread called target thread. So by cancel target thread, here two scenarios are going to be exercised. So that is asynchronous cancellation. We have understood what is asynchronous communication. So that asynchronous cancellation terminates the target thread immediately, right? Asynchronous that synchronous the threads are not in the scenario, so that is not discussed here. So only the asynchronous cancellation terminates the thread immediately, right? Immediately, without seeing any response or any observation or any history of that. So it immediately cancelled that thread, since it is a asynchronous asynchronous thread, asynchronous cancel. So second one is a defer cancellation. So allow the target thread, which means the thread we want to cancel, so that is target thread. Allow the target thread sufficiently to in view of or by periodically checking it should be by periodically checking its status, whether it's completes the task or not. If it is not completes, and allow one more slot. Further, periodically again it checks, right? If it not solved, again it give. So that cancellation will be postponed a certain amount of time, right? So it till completion of this job it allows, and after once it's completed, immediately cancel that, right? It should be a cancel, that is. So if it is a cancel, so pthread such example code to create a and cancel thread. So that is a that thread. So we have pthread tid create a thread, pthread create tid 0 worker null time, and it will be working, that is. So pthread will be that cancel. So that is a kind of deferred cancellation, deferred cancellation thread, deferred thread, that is. So it will be periodically check. So after checking that, after completion, it will be allow them to cancel, that is. So number of threads may be dynamically adjusted. Number of threads that may be dynamically adjusted during a lifetime of application based on the number of waiting tasks. So it purely depends upon the application. So application have generates the several tasks. So that task need to be wait for get the allocate the thread. So if 5 or 10 tasks are there, and 5 threads dynamically we need to be create, right? So the number of threads may be dynamically adjusted during the lifetime of the running of the any given application. So it depends upon the how many tasks are forked, how many tasks are exported for the particular application to execute. So the corresponding number of threads going to be dynamically tentatively cleared. For example, web server can add a thread if many web pages request come, right? For the web server from the client, so many request comes, and it can remove the threads when those requests taper down, right? So at the given instant of time, requests are more, and dynamically creates many threads. In the due course, or certain after certain amount of time, the request number of requests are reduces, then number of threads also we can reduce that. So it correspondingly dynamically based on the number of requests, so corresponding number of threads going to be created. So cost of having a larger thread pool is increased resource usage. So dynamically you can create many threads based on the request. So what will happen? So that resource will be increase, usage of the resource will be increases. So method used to find to create or destroy threads affect all overall performance. So if we are creating many threads, so most of the time system will be dedicated to the time rather executing it only looking after creation and elimination of those threads will be a huge time. So creating too many threads waste resources and also time now to create that, so unused threads, right? That created more thread, it is a time consuming. Destroying also, eliminating removing those threads require more time later when creating them again, right? So created and need to be destroy them, so that is also required, that is. So what will happen? Creating a thread too slowly might result in a poor client performance. So either side we have the benefits and difficulties. So too slowly created a thread and it is a poor performance. So destroying threads too slowly may starve other process of the resource. So destroying eliminating the threads after its job, that cancellation of threads after its job or unnecessary threads, it becomes slow, then other process will be suffer from without the threads. Without threads means, so that because plenty of resource have under the custody of these old threads, no? So that's why, so new threads going to be create, so it will suffer from the unavailability of the resource. So that is we can observe, that is we can have thread specific data. So thread have some local data, so allow each thread to have its own copy of data. So thread have its own luggage, no? It's have its own intermediate results, or it's have its own the process related information, so that records will be there. So that we need to be keep in a local also. Useful when you do not control over the thread creation process. So creation process may be not in our control. In such case, that local data, that copy of the thread will be helpful. So you can keep those when you do not have using a thread pool, so when using a thread pool also, so thread pool means a bundle of threads will be created in a bunch, so those controls will be there with those, and each individual threads information may not available in that case, right? So thread pools also there. So how this thread pool, create a pool of thread where they await work, right? So what we seen in the previous case, web server. So web server, so many pages are requested by the clients, so that because non availability of thread, that the clients has to wait, so that in order to reduce that or avoid that waiting time of the clients, so in single every time creation of the single thread, so they can create the bunch of threads, so that is a thread pool. So in that case it will avoid the reduces the waiting time. When server request, it awakens thread from that thread pool. So when request comes, it just give a message to that thread pool, because it due to this thread pool, that creation of thread time will be saving, so reduce of that. So from the thread pool, request to serve if thread exists in the pool, threads are there and it will immediately respond. If not, it has to be create that, of course. So after work completed, after work has completed, and that thread will be returned to that thread pool, and thread will be returned to that thread pool, and it ready to take a next request, right? So that is a mechanism that, so if it is there, it assign the work, and the corresponding thread has to go for work. After finishing that work, it has to come back and sit in the thread pool in order to wait the next request, right? So that is a concept of the thread pools. So if pool do not available, right, thread pool not available, so server waits until one thread become free. If no threads are available in thread pool, server has to wait until one thread become free, right? Somebody has occupied, so after finishing their jobs, so they will hand over back, so that will be give it to that, right? So we can have how that thread pool will be there. So here threads are waiting, and here thread pool will be there, right? So sorry, not threads, so request will be waiting, task will be waiting, so it goes that threads are there in a thread pool, and these threads are all threads which is shown here, colored one are busy, and this is only thread is free, right? So if it is free, then allocate, so go send for completed the complete the task, right? So that so many tasks are completed, so they have to come back to again thread pool, that is, so that is a kind of mechanism will be exercised there. So that thread pool advantages we can see, slightly faster to serve a request with an existing thread than create a new thread. So when request comes, during that time we are going to create thread, it will take time, right? And also resource may not available, some threads are already occupied. So all those scenario, if already ready threads is there and it immediately assign the task, then it will be served for that advantage. So allow number of threads in the application to be bound to the size of the pool. So certain applications are there, and those applications have number of tasks will be there. So those number of tasks will require those number of threads, right? So if a particular application have 5 tasks and in the pool we have 5 threads, then the size will be limited, it can go for that. So to be bound to the size of the pool also. So number of thread to be in the pool, this numbers of thread you can heuristically set based on the fact that CPUs in the system, how many CPUs are there, so amount of physical memory, number of concurrent requests. So CPU have dual core, so then logically you can set 2 threads or logically 4 threads. So maybe quad core, 4 processors are there, So we can 4 threads we can set. So similarly the physical memory will be there. So number of so based on that the pool size you can fix that is. So thread what are the effects of this thread pool, right? So the side effects are number of threads may be dynamically adjusted during the lifetime of application based on the number of waiting tasks. So for example, web server can add many number of pages, request come and remove that those requests taper down. So we have discussed already the cost of having more thread method users find that is, so creating too many threads will be creating that is, so the performance will be degrade, so destroying will be happening. So that cancellation, invoking thread cancellation request cancellation, so invoking thread cancellation request cancellation, but actual cancellation depends on the thread state. So we have seen that asynchronous cancellation, deferred cancellation, right? Asynchronous will be immediately terminate, cancel that, but the deferred one depends on the thread state. So how the deferred one mode state type you can see. So mode is off and the state is disabled, and consider mode is a deferred one, deferred synchronous. So sorry, deferred cancellation, deferred thread cancellation, state is disabled and it will be enabled now. Deferred will be make enabled and type become deferred, right? So state of the thread will be disabled, it was off, now mode become deferred. Due to this mode become deferred, the state become enabled, right? Enable means the deferred thread cancellation scenario is there. So that scenario what will happen, it will avoid the cancellation of thread immediately, it will give a chance to run that task which is assigned. It checks periodically, checks whether it is completes the assigned task or not, right? If it is not, then it give a one more slot. So like that several slots will be given there, so that is enabled. So asynchronous enabled, no, that disabled will become enabled. In the asynchronous happen, the type will be asynchronous, it immediately terminate, it not deferred termination. I hope understand. The asynchronous thread cancellation will immediately cancel the target thread, right? So the target thread is enabled, so it is immediately cancelled, it never give a one more chance to them, since that is a asynchronous thread cancellation. So if thread has cancellation disabled, if the thread has cancellation disabled, cancellation remains pending until thread enables, right? So that state is disabled means, so that cancellation remain pending, it keep pending until thread enables it. So it means thread has that thread status intensely made disabled. So during such case the cancellation will not happen, in that cancellation will put pending, right? So pending, so due course it will be going to be cancelled, it wait for till that enable. Default type is a deferred cancellation, right? Default type is a, in most of the programming, default type is a deferred cancellation. What is that meaning? So any target threads are identified, it allow to complete its job, periodically checks its status, and it allow them to complete its job. Only after completion of the job it will be terminate, right? So default case, that is. In some, that cancellation occurs only when thread reaches the cancellation point. So that default type is a deferred cancellation. So deferred cancellation, it allow the threads to reach the cancellation point. What is a cancellation point? It is a normal completion of job, normal completion, when whatever the amount of time is took and completes the job, that system will wait for them, since it is a default and also is a deferred cancellation. So deferred cancellation will allow sufficient amount of time given to the particular thread. When it reaches the cancellation point, then only it will be cancel it. So that is a one technique to do so. So that is a pthread test cancel if request is pending, right? If the request is pending, so pthread test cancellation will be running. So that such pending threads will be cancelled with help of the pthread. So then the cleanup handler is there. Cleanup handler is there. It should clean all the essentials when that test cancelled invoked, which is tells to release all resource before thread is terminated. So before terminated, so deferred thread is a depart thread in most of the system. So deferred thread will be terminated or cancelled only when reach the cancellation point. In other words, it is a normal closing. Normal after completion of job is with enough time or complete completion will be completed, then it reaches the cancellation point. So that cancellation point, in between that it is a pending one. So this is to be pre-thread cancellation function will be checked repeatedly. If request is pending, then it will be cancelled. Then that handler will come. So cleanup handler will be look after to systematically keep all the resource which is used by that such that recently cancelled thread, right? Which is under this pcancel test cancel thread is ask them to release all the resource to hand out to the system. That is look after by cleanup handler. So on Linux, thread cancellation is handled through signals. So signals will be take care there. So thread local storage we have, that is local storage TLS will allow each thread to have its own copy of thread, useful when you do not have control over the thread creation when using the thread of full. So different from local variable, this is, it is not local variable, it is different. So local variable visible only during the single function invocation, so it is visible, whereas TLS visible across the function invocation. So across the many functions may be visible, it is a TLS, that is. So similar to the static data, it is similar to the static data. So that TLS is unique to each thread, is a separate TLS is there for each thread. So scheduler activation, we have seen the models, the relation between the user thread and kernel thread. Now to have a good relation, establish a relation, that we have seen many to one, one to one and many to many. So especially many to many model was rich in communication. It provides the what is called multiprocessor system. So that is a tightly coupled or loosely coupled, maybe we discuss in computer architecture. There many to many clients can talk with the many process, so that many threads, and also two level models. So that is a many to many and one to one, the separate that's combined model we seen that. So require communication to maintain appropriate number of kernels threads allocate the application. So appropriate number of threads need to be created from the operating system. So that is a number of threads is has to be reciprocate with the user threads. So typically use in an intermediate data structure between a user and kernel threads. That is a intermediate data structure is a lightweight process, right? So lightweight process is a some common data structure will be help to between the user kernel and user and kernel space. Appears to virtual processor on which process can schedule user thread to run. It appears to be virtual process on which process can schedule the thread to run. So each lightweight process attached to the kernel thread. So every kernel have LWP. So that have what is called intermediate data structure. So we have a kernel and WP 8W, that lightweight data structure, which helps to create a virtuality towards the user, that it attached to the every kernel. So you have many to many, so many kernel or threads are there, so all have LWP. And so how many LWP to create? So how many, that is a lightweight protocol, lightweight process to create. So that depends on that, many to many. So that scheduler activation provides up calls, right? So scheduler activation by up calls will be there, so that communication effort from kernel to up call handler, right? So up call will be there, so that will be with help of the up call handler will be there to provide the library threads from the library. So this communication allow an application to maintain the correct number of kernel threads. So communication allow to application to maintain the correct number of kernel threads. So many to many, can see that, so m number of kernel threads, n number of user threads. So kernel threads would be lesser than that, this one, and also sometimes equal also. How many number of user threads are there? Equal number of kernel threads also possible. So the precise number you want, that is allow application to maintain, that is with help of this up calls and call handlers. So activation, so that is a models to be communicated appropriate, that is, so that is a WP, just to discuss, that is we have that this one. So with help of this, we can see what are the components we discuss. Thread issues, that is a fork and execute system calls, and signal handling we seen. Thread cancellation, we seen that that is a asynchronous thread immediately cancelled without giving a chance to continue. So deferred threads are default thread in most of the system, so it will periodically check the status of the thread if it is running that, and it will be postpone the cancellation, and cancellation point, it has to reach, that thread has to reach the completion point, that is a cancellation point. Once reach the cancellation point, then it will be take the help of the cleanup handler. Cleanup handler will be asked that corresponding thread to hand over all the resource which we have occupied when you are executing, so that this resource will be useful for other threads, because threads may be suffering from the non-availability of the resource due to this cancelling. So the resources are available, so it will be handed out to who are in the need. So the thread local storage we have seen, it is different from local one. It is quite helpful when you do not have a control over, especially the pool of threads and kind of things. So thread local, each thread have its own local storage, which will be useful in most of the time, that is. So the scheduler activation we have seen that. So scheduler activation, so depends upon the state of the thread state. So that disable thread state is there, and it will be keep pending the cancellation till it make enable, that system will be wait for that. When it become enabled, then it will exercise this thread cancel mechanism. So default, of course, we have thread what is called defer thread cancellation mechanism. In some of the case we need that what is called asynchronous cancellation. So there that too that depends upon the state of the thread. So LWP and upcall handler help to recollect back the resource to give it to who are in the need. So we collected this from the book Abraham Shilbert Schatz et al. That is textbook, and many other reference books are there. And thank you for patient listening and shown interest on thread issues and thread cancellation with other concept. is part of the module 2 representing a session 2. Thanks to coordinator, moderator and subject expert. Thank you one and all.